All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, very few, just like you and just like me. All right, so going to be talking about Styx in this episode. Apparently, they hired a new bass player, and just you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll talk about it. Before I get there, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Brian Cole. I reached out to him yesterday. I haven't spoken with him in a while. And I thought maybe Brian is mad at me because I've been talking about Voyage so much. Um, anyway, this is Brian's solo album. It's called Sands of Time. It's hard to find, man, but I ordered a copy and it's in my collection. And I'm super grateful that I own this. Brian is a powerhouse singer. If you like Firehouse or Giant or just, good old fashioned melodic rock, this is a great album and you should check it out. So, Sands of Time. But more importantly, Brian is out on the road with the Journey tribute band known as Resurrection. And they're every bit as good as Voyage, right? So you should go check out Resurrection or Voyage. I'm an equal opportunity promoter when I can. Brian just exudes that Steve Perry spirit out there when he sings, and a very nice man on top of it, which makes it even easier to recommend. Now, pivoting from that to the Styx situation, here first, let me make a comment here because apparently there are people out there that do not like when I talk about Styx. They don't like my take. They don't like me as a person, and they make those things known. I don't know who these people are personally. I get messages from patrons because people watch videos and then it will recommend another video, and you could keep doing that for hours and hours where it'll just keep recommending videos. And apparently, we go from me ranting and raving about how I'd like to see Dennis DeYoung do one more stint with Styx. I'm not sure if the time has passed where he doesn't want to do that anymore. He's been very quiet. Rumors out there that he might go back on the road with his own band. I'm not sure about that, but Styx keeps moving on, right? And you know what? Here's the deal. The casual fans, and those are the majority of fans, they don't really care who's in the band anymore. We've seen this recently with bands like the Guess Who and the Little River Band, and there are other bands out there who have, one original member or zero original members. Quiet Riot comes to mind. I don't think they have any original members in the band, although they might have Rudy Sarzo back in, I think, to give it some credibility. But here's the deal. It's just, do they sound like the band you grew up listening to? That's important. And are they bringing in the best musicians possible to cover whatever it is that needs to be covered, whether it's a vocal or a guitar part? I think the vocals tend to be the most important thing. But Styx lost bass player Ricky Phillips not too long ago. And so they replaced him. And who do they replace him with? Well, the Gowan takeover of Styx is now complete. Terry Gowan, who was in the band Gowan and who is the brother of singer Lawrence Gowan, is now picking up the bottom end, the Ricky Phillips bass part. By the way, Ricky Phillips, a monster bassist, super good bass player. So Styx was lucky to have him for many years. I don't know much about Terry Gowan, and I'm not going to say anything negative about Terry Gowan. And honestly, Lawrence Gowan is a good singer. Again, my beef with Lawrence and with Styx is that Lawrence really doesn't sound like Dennis DeYoung. There are other people out there who do sound like Dennis who may have fit into that role. But a lot of this has to do with band chemistry, right? And Styx, obviously, to this day, will complain about Dennis DeYoung being difficult to work with. He wanted to take everything over. He wanted to do things his way. And, Tommy Shaw and JY, they weren't putting up with that stuff. So again, we went from the Panozzo brothers, the late, great John Panozzo, and Chuck, who is still out there. I don't know if he plays every gig with the band, but they took a new picture of the band. And holy crap, Batman. JY and Chuck really look like they belong probably somewhere. I would say the Villages would be a good place for them. Just playing shuffleboard. This goes to the whole idea, that rock music, I think, is intended for younger people. Now, again, some of these bands defy logic, like the Rolling Stones comes to mind. But again, seeing an 80-year-old Mick Jagger strutting around and dating a 39-year-old woman, and there's just some weird stuff in the world. There just is. There's stuff that just doesn't make sense to me, but it makes sense to other people, or other people can look past it and not think about it, where it makes me cringe a lot of the time. And, to see those two guys in the middle of this picture, like Tommy Shaw still looks like Tommy Shaw. But you can actually see the resemblance between the Gowan brothers, Terry and Lawrence, as the Gowan takeover of Styx is complete, unless there are other brothers that they can bring in at other positions. Maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe at some point those two guys do go to the Villages and just live out their life and stop playing rock music, and maybe stop complaining about Dennis DeYoung, who, again, I don't think is really coming back to Styx ever, which is a shame. A lot of folks just wanted to see one more tour. The same kind of people who are still out there talking about Steve Perry, joining up with Journey, I think the clock has been ticking for too long, has been ticking past that moment where it would actually be a good idea. But again, I don't know if Terry Gowan is a great bass player or not. Bass isn't typically a high-profile position in a band, but he replaced Ricky Phillips, who I think Ricky had been there since the whole Return to Paradise thing, I'm pretty sure. And again, just showing that he was really good at what he did, and he was loyal to the band. I think he wanted to spend more time with his family. He was just tired of the road, tired of doing all those gigs. The money is really good. So that's one of the reasons this keeps going. The fact that they do own the name, somebody, probably Tommy and JY, have the name, and they're just going to bleed this till they can't bleed it anymore. And so if you're a casual fan, you're going to be really excited about this new lineup. There were comments about this somewhere, probably on Instagram. Yeah, let me see a couple of these Instagram things here. Wow, Ricky was there forever. He will be missed. A casual fan says, welcome, Terry. Playing with a remarkable group of talent. Looking forward to seeing you all at the Venetian in Las Vegas again. So excited to see you all again in Omaha. Dennis was never my favorite singer. Always loved Tommy. His voice is awesome. Love hearing him and JY sing. So happy to have... So Dennis wasn't a great singer, or wasn't my favorite singer, but man, can JY sing. Man, JY is a great singer. Okay. So again, folks, this is what I'm up against. This reminds me of the days when I was in radio, right? And I'd get a phone call from somebody who would ask me to play a song I just played like 5 minutes prior to their phone call. And I was already really sick of that song. But that person, they weren't going to be sick of that song probably for their whole life. And I look at the way the casual fans, even the dedicated fans, right, look at the band. And so they don't think Dennis, who seems to be kind of a classically trained singer, who I think had the biggest hits with the band. They don't think Dennis is a good singer. And look, Tommy is a good singer. I'm not saying he's not. Again, nobody likes my Styx takes, apparently, except the few hardcore people who understand what I'm trying to say here. The bottom line, like in every video I do about Styx, all they need to do is a quick reunion tour with Dennis, right? The Gowan brothers can go back to Canada for a few weeks, or I guess, you need the guy who's playing bass now, Terry, or maybe Dennis brings in a bass player. I don't know. But then you go out there, you do the tour, you thank the fans, and then Dennis and everybody just go their separate ways, and Styx can start their Mission to Venus Part 1 or whatever album they're going to do next. And I think it would be fine. That's all. That's it. This isn't complicated. So anyway, folks, the Canadian takeover of Styx continues. Who else will they bring from the Great White North to be in Styx? Are there any other Gowans out there? My guess is there probably are some more Gowans. All right, one more plug for my buddy Brian Cole, who's a beast. Brian Cole could be in Styx, for crying out loud. Brian could sing probably the Tommy parts and maybe some of the Dennis parts. I don't know. This is a guy with a full strength voice. Does not have to do anything a step down when he's in the Resurrection Journey tribute band. He is a beast, man. Good guy too. So if you see Resurrection out there on the road, make sure you go and see them, all right? Because they're really good. And they'll charge a little bit less than Journey will for tickets. And you'll get to meet everybody and say hi. The drummer in that band, I think, was Dean Castronovo's drum tech, from what I remember. And I don't remember much these days, so that might be wrong. But again, folks, thanks for watching these videos. I know it's a lot to put up with. And for those of you who don't like my takes on Styx, I apologize to you and to your family and to everybody you know. All right? So there you go.